Welcome to Beauty Brains Bubbly. I'm Deborah O'Brien, and this is officially week 4 of carnivore. Okay, one of the things that happens when you start a diet like this is that everyone that you know starts asking you a million questions. And sometimes that's hard because I'm still learning a lot of this as I go. But it's important that as these questions come up, if I don't know the answer, that I do try and search that out. You know, it's one of those things you want to be able to comfort the people that love you, especially if they're worried and like, what is this crazy thing you're doing? So I'm going to walk through some of the ones that I get the most. Aren't you worried about high cholesterol? Isn't salt bad for you? Are you having fun being constipated all the time? You don't eat any fruits or vegetables at all? So before I get into answering some of these, I have to do a disclaimer. You guys, I am not a doctor, not even close. So please consult with, ask your doctor about any diet or medical related questions that you have. None of the information that I am sharing here should be used to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease or condition. Okay? So now that we've got that out of the way, let me just, from a layman's place, walk you through how I explain this crazy carnivore thing to my friends and family and how I answer basic questions. No, you don't eat any fruits or vegetables at all? Tough pill for most people to swallow. So let me just start with fruit. Fruit's great, right? It has fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, vitamin C, but it also contains a lot of sugar. People call this Mother Nature's version of candy. And I love candy. But most of the nutrients and the vitamins that I need are contained in animal products as well. And I definitely don't need more sugar in my life. So at this time, the only fruit that I consume is on occasion, I will add a little touch of lemon to the water that I'm drinking. For me, I'm doing it out of an overabundance of caution to make sure that I am getting the vitamin C that I need. But it's probably not necessary. I mean, as far as I know, there haven't been a rash of scurvy outbreaks amongst the carnivore community. So I think I'm probably good, but I do it just to be on the safe side. Why not? So vegetables are definitely a step up from fruit. But if you think about all of the changes that have happened over the years in how veggies are grown and pesticides and how they're stored and how we're genetically modifying so many of these things, that as you look at the minerals and the vitamins and the content in these things, you can see that over the years, as we've changed the way that we do things with vegetables, the mineral vitamin content has been vastly reduced. So they've done a ton of studies on this stuff in an attempt to show a direct correlation between eating more fruits and vegetables and doing things like lowering obesity or reducing diabetes or heart disease or cancer, those types of things. But they seem to show pretty weak association when you look at the studies. They definitely don't prove cause and effect. So it would seem that while it is certainly possible that fruits and vegetables reduce the risk of disease, I'm not so sure that that is an assumption that's based on any kind of definitive proof at this point. I mean, sure, fruits and vegetables are definitely far superior to high carb processed foods, but that doesn't equate to you can't live without them. So contrary to what I was always led to believe growing up, that fruits and vegetables can, well, they're the greatest thing on earth. The truth is they can cause health problems in some people. And I think I might be one of them. And here's kind of my reasoning behind that. That Viome gut health test really opened my eyes to the fact that I may have sensitivities to some fruits and veggies. And some people can have negative reactions to things like salicylates, oxalates, histamines, FODMAPs. Those are things found in fruits and vegetables. So the question for me became, will avoiding fruits and vegetables lead to nutrient deficiencies? Meat, fish, eggs, dairy provide much of what I need. Many carnivores also will consume some organ meats. It seems to be a little bit of both. I'm doing a little bit of liver and then a little bit of the lemon in my water. And that, I think, will help me with the vitamin C, and I'm not worried about anything else. So I don't know. My personal takeaway from reading all of these different things is that doing a 90-day carnivore diet isn't going to kill me. Do low carb vegetables and maybe some fruit have a role to play in my future? I don't know, maybe. But what I will definitely be looking to do is to add these things in one at a time with a keen observational eye on how each food item impacts how I feel. And then I'm going to go from there. All right. So this question came at me from a bestie. Are you having fun being constipated all the time? And one would assume that if you eliminate fiber from your diet, that terrible constipation is sure to follow. It just hasn't been my experience. Instead, what's happened, and bear with me here, because I know we're getting into the whole bowel movement thing, which is like, but you got to talk about it. So I went from going to the restroom, having a bowel movement 3 to 4 times a day to 1. I am no longer bloated after I eat. And I almost never have gas. I mean, I laugh, but honestly, gone are the days where you're laying in bed, clenching in agony, trying not to belch or fart, or I know, totally disgusting to talk about. But seriously, as a chick, this is like the best thing ever. It's funny. I knew a girl in college. She used to run to our apartment daily to poop because she didn't want her boyfriend to hear or know, I guess, that she pooped. I used to read my sons the book Everybody Poops. So cute. I mean, they all got that book as they were going through their toilet training periods, because it's true. Everyone does. But it doesn't have to be such an ordeal. We used to walk by the bathroom door when the boys were little, and they'd be like, grunting and groaning. And the joke is we would walk by and we'd say, hey, take it easy. So silly, I know. So look, a lot of carnivores say that what's happening is that your body is absorbing and using all of the nutrients from the meat. And so that's why you don't have a bunch of bowel movements. It can actually be once a day and be really smooth and easy. And I gotta say, based on my new bathroom habits, that sure seems to be the case. And guess what? It feels great. All right, moving away from poop. Is salt bad for you? All right, so listen, my fiance has had high blood pressure forever. And for years, I'm nagging, go easy on the salt, go easy on the salt. So one of his buddies was over and he was like, what's going on here? What's with all the salt? And I didn't know how to answer that question. I was like, ooh. Weirdly, the next day I got an email discussing the results of the sodium HF trial that happened. It's like the largest and longest randomized clinical trial to study the issue of salt in cardiovascular health. It was conducted over 6 years, 6 different countries, and lo and behold, are you ready? didn't show that a reduction of sodium equated to reducing cardiovascular events. So here I've been just nagging about the salt intake, and I'm going to stop doing that. I think we're going to be okay. Not worried about salt at this point. So, next question. Aren't you worried about high cholesterol? Yeah, I am. A little bit. However, there's a lot of stuff out there. I would refer anyone who wants to know more about the cholesterol issue specifically, both to Dr. Sean Baker, and then also Dave Feldman makes this really great point. Oh gosh, it's like Keto Salt Lake 2019. There's a great video of it out there. And basically what he said is that he wishes the question could be reframed. So instead of people asking, aren't you worried about high cholesterol? To, I really enjoyed where I've improved my cardiovascular risk markers, my blood pressure, fasting, insulin, glucose, waist to hip ratio, HDL cholesterol, triglycerides, but my LDL cholesterol has gone up. Should I be worried? His answer was that he believes that it's possible that LDL cholesterol is higher in a low carb diet, which could be any number of diets, including carnivore, because it's part of the fat-based energy trafficking that's happening in our bodies. And then he shows a bunch of slides and sciencey stuff. And the point is, I think the jury may still be out on this a little bit, and we need more studies. In the meantime, I'm going to listen to my body. And let me tell you what my body is telling me after 4 weeks, 1 month on carnivore diet. So first and foremost, my energy is way up. And I can actually see the week over week measurable improvement based on tracking my strain levels on my Whoop. So each day when I get up, I look at my Whoop app to see what it has listed as my recommended strain level and what level I need to hit in order to either just recover, to maintain my fitness, to build fitness gains. And then they've got like a stop point so that, you don't over exert or reach and put too much stress on your body that it's not ready for that particular day. So I have never been able to hit the level of exertion activity required to actually get into the build fitness gains category. So I generally will top off at the moderate range, but I oftentimes find myself at the low exertion level. And it's just because, quite frankly, I have no energy and I'm in so much pain all the time, or have been. So the week before I started the carnivore diet, my exertion average for that week was 5.4. So week 1 of carnivore, 7.1. Week 2, 9.3. Week 3, I hit 11. And then this past week, week 4 of the diet, I hit an average activity level of 12.9. So each consecutive week, I've gotten a little bit better. And then today, I hit a 1-day all-time high, 15.5. Woo! You guys, I'm killing it in the gym. I'm burning a ton of calories and I feel incredible. So it's not just in my head. I am actually seeing it on my tracker. Now, my pain levels are beginning to show small improvements. The joint pain in my hands, which made it really difficult to do things like open a jar or carry heavy items. I'm lifting weights in the gym and I haven't had to ask assistance for like unscrewing a cap or something in at least 2 weeks. So while I still am struggling with inflammation, particularly in my feet and my knees, I've decided that what I'm going to do is start adding pneumatic compression into the mix for my legs. And I'm going to see if that helps. And honestly, I just keep picturing, if you've ever seen the movie Baby Steps to Recovery, I'm baby stepping, okay? Baby steps. Another bonus, no bloating, no gas, no upset stomach, right? Like we talked about. I've lost 4 pounds in 4 weeks. It's not a ton. It's a start. So the thing I would say is that my body feels different. I just took some photos, and then I'll follow up here as we get towards the end of the trial with like so we can do some before after comparison stuff and see if you can point to any differences. Here's another one. My mood feels lighter. I feel like I'm joking around a lot more. I'm laughing more. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel more outgoing in a lot of ways. My head is clearer. I'm starting to write again. I'm certainly more productive than I have been in at least a year, if not longer. All right, so let's talk about negatives. I think I mentioned this in my video last week. I stopped taking spironolactone, which I was taking for acne. And I definitely this week kind of went through a week of where I was like, oh gosh, I was breaking around, like mostly around my mouth. But no matter, even though I was going through this crazy hurdle with this, I refuse to give up and go back on drugs for this. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Here's the game plan. I am going to be cutting down on my dairy intake because I feel like that may be something that is causing some of this. It may be that dairy is not my friend so much, which makes me sad. And dairy can be one of those things, especially around the mouth. I also think that dairy reduction may help me with the weight loss numbers. So I'm also going to start a new skincare line that I ordered. Instagram. It's specifically for acne prone skin, but can also be used by those of us of a certain age. And then I did a big purchase, which is I bought the TheraFace Pro skincare device from TheraBody. Give me a week. I'm testing this thing out. And I will say so far, I've had it for 2 days and it seems fantastic and it feels like it's making a big difference. But I want to give it a full week and play with it. And then I might just do like a separate video to share some of those results next week. So that's where we're at, the good, the bad, the how do you answer questions phase of this diet. Overall, it has been fantastic. And I'm super jazzed to go into my next now 30 days and just see the progression. Fingers crossed. We are shooting for no more joint pain as a next step, but I do feel like everything is heading in the right direction. So thank you so much. I hope that if you're enjoying this content, you will consider subscribing, please. By all means, leave comments, but keep them positive. We don't need the negative stuff. I just want to say thank you for being here. And there's always more content and fun stuff if you go to beautybrainsbubbly.com. So check that out too. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week and I will see you in 7 days.